You have been told by many others, if you want to crack the coding interview, you have to LeetCode.
LeetCode.com, very popular website
for LeetCode.
LeetCode.com.
So, you the person who has never heard about LeetCode, sign up and sort the problems from least difficulty. You start the first problem, ready to solve it fast, since it's labeled as easy. Reality starts to hit. You read the problem 3 times and still, the constraints look like Greek to you, and what is this? It seems so simple, yet you sit there without any idea of how to implement the solution. In this video, we're going to go over how to start LeetCoding as a beginner and how to actually understand and learn while studying for coding interviews. My name is Bradley Allen, and on this channel, we go over important computer science topics with the purpose of making you more knowledgeable. Let's get into the video. Just about every LeetCode problem has a data structure and algorithm that you have to use to implement to be able to solve it. And you must know data structures and algorithms. Think of data structures and algorithms as a tool to get the job done. If you never knew a hammer existed to hit a nail, you may end up hitting it with a rock and wondering why the rock broke. This is the same when it comes to LeetCoding. Just knowing that a hash map exists is a big hurdle to jump, let alone using a hash map to solve the problem. Data structures and algorithms is a must-know topic, and without it, you will never be able to solve problems easily. Sure, you might come up with a solution, but without fully understanding, or at least knowing about the data structures and algorithms, it will be difficult. Some of you will just ignore me and start LeetCoding, but let me say it again, you must know data structures and algorithms to level up and understand these problems with full efficiency. So when you choose to solve a problem on LeetCode, there are some things you need to know as a beginner. When you pull up LeetCode, you will have a title of the problem, which gives hints on how to solve, a description, which you need to really read to understand the problem, examples of input and outputs, constraints, which usually give you the complexity or a hint about the complexity. You have the language, selector, and IDE. This is where implementation happens. In the IDE section, you have to finish that function, which is usually run in the background to test your code. So after you complete the function, LeetCode will call the function in the background and test your code against multiple cases. And at the bottom here, you have run and submit. The run is used to run and test your code and make sure it actually works, and the submit is to submit when you are done with your solution. So you may be wondering, how do I actually start LeetCoding? There are 4 major steps to solve a LeetCode problem. The first is to read and understand the problem. This means read and understand the problem. If any ideas pop into your head while you are reading, do not start coding. Keep these ideas in the back of your mind, read through every single inch of the description and problem, and make sure you go over the entire thing. Do not touch your keyboard until you understand everything about the problem. This will prevent skipping over important topics of a problem, because if you skip over an important part, you may be on the wrong path of solving. The second step is to think of all possible solutions in your head or on paper. Think of a solution, use pen and paper like this to map out and try to solve the problem. Think of edge cases such as input of 0 or what would happen when null comes around. This is where the actual solving happens, in your brain and on paper. Recall previous questions that you have done, and you can use those ideas from those previous questions to solve the current question. The third step is to take your idea that you've came up with your pencil and paper or in your head and start to implement. You should know exactly what to code if your idea was created fully. This is the hardest for beginners because you have to be very familiar with your programming language. And the fourth and final step, know the time and space complexity of your solution. This means after implementing your solution, make it a habit of typing the time and space complexity in the comments before or after your function. This will let you understand when you come back and study again, or you will actually understand why it is O of n, or why it is O of n space or time complexity. During the interview, you want to give the complexity and not ask for it. So by you practicing your LeetCoding, always looking at the space and time complexity, you will be ready for the actual interview. After you've done these 5 steps, rinse and repeat for different problems. You will improve if you stay consistent and actually think about what you're doing rather than copy and pasting the solution and hitting submit. So let me ask you a question. What is the point of LeetCoding? I hope you said to prepare for an interview and level up your problem solving and coding skills. The point of LeetCode is not to copy and paste solutions and hit submit. The whole point of LeetCoding is to level up your knowledge in data structures and algorithms and be prepared for a coding interview. Your solution to the LeetCode problem will be different than others. So before you go on the discussion page and look for the solution, come up with the solution for your own self, because you won't have a discussion page when you're in an interview. Understanding the problem and creating a solution on your own is the only thing that matters when you're LeetCoding, because remember that you are doing this for you and not nobody else. Alright, so now I'm going to solve a LeetCode problem as an example so you guys can understand the process and method of how to actually learn and do this LeetCode and start leveling up your coding skills. Guys, we are here on my desktop, and as you can see, we have 206 reverse a linked list. This is the title of the question, and it's easy. But remember, easy is just something that they like to post on here. It might be hard for you, but don't think because it's easy and you can't solve it fast that you're not smart. So the description is given the head of a singly linked list, reverse the list and return the reverse list. And it gives you examples here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's all we have to do, reverse the list. And then you come down here and you see constraints. The number of nodes in the list is in the range of 0 to 5,000. So in between those 2 ranges are going to be the values of the node. And you have to sit here and look at the constraints and actually understand, because it gives you hints. What is the size of the data that we're working with? So first thing I would do is get your pen and paper like I have here. Actually write out the problem. So this is what I've wrote out. See, as you can see here, we're going to get rid of the next and make it point backwards, and we're going to keep doing this until null. That's the idea I came up with in my head, and now we're going to implement it. First, we're going to have 3 pointers: cur, previous, and next. And we're going to make the current pointer equal to head. So we're going to have 3 pointers, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to keep going, keep moving forward, and reverse until current is equal to null. And you have to have the visualization in your head of a linked list. This is why knowing data structures and algorithms is crucial for when you're solving LeetCode problems. Boom. We completed the problem. Now the main thing that you need to take away from this is the idea of how you came up with the solution in your head, and how you went about implementing it. Because in the interview, all you're looking for is how to think about the answer of the problem. You're not really looking at the fastest and quickest way to solve the problem. You're looking at how you do it. So thank you for watching the video. If you learned something new, like the video, comment down below some tips you have for LeetCode, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.